Winner takes all game then tomorrow as Juventus take on Manchester City. City need to win it to guarantee top spot in Group G. Let's hear from some of their teams, shall we, ahead of the tie. We'll hear from Rodri in the moment. But first, Pep Guardiola spoke to the media in the first question from our very own Rob Dawson.
Obviously, the Juventus game is, in theory, your biggest test of this group stage. And I know you've spoken about how difficult last season was, and you've come here and said this is a fresh start and it's a new season. Do you feel like the players have been able to put what happened last season out of their minds when they're approaching a big game against Juventus, and there won't be any kind of hangover from some of the results possibly that they had last season?
The season is over. When we won the treble and quadruples and so on, it was over. It's past. So of course we don't want to live again the season that we lived last season, but it's past. So when I see what we can build, and I see many things that I like in terms of connection between the players, that helps to be together. That because during the season we had a lot of time together, but training session home, travel, game home. Here we are 24, 27 together, and that's nice. So I'm seeing good things. The season will be tough, we know it, but in the other terms, I'm so positive that we will do it many good things.
May I just ask you about the heat, because it's very hot. We're actually about 2 hours later than kick-off tomorrow. How do you think your players will deal with that? You've been here 2 weeks. And also, is it too early for Rodri maybe to make a start tomorrow?
Sorry?
Is it also too early for Rodri to make a start tomorrow in this sort of heat?
No, but the hot is, it's obviously, so we cannot change it, right? So it's better to play like the last stadium, like we played. That was fantastic, but I think all the teams have to handle it. So it's what it is for the new World Cup, next World Cup. The people know it already. But yeah, we have to be ready to suffer. Then Rodri, can play, cannot play. Of course, it's not for 90 minutes, but play the last minute, 30 minutes, 35. So is making a step forward. The last 3-4 days didn't have some no problems, but some niggles that sometimes has. He's happy that we can add minutes to him.
Well, I feel very good, very happy to be here. An amazing tournament to start again to play football. But really excited to join the team again, join them in the pitch, the most important thing. I'm very excited to work with them and win. That's the aim of today. It is a massive opportunity for me to come back. Maybe if this tournament doesn't happen, we'll be on holidays. But for me individually, it's a great opportunity to come back at the highest level and play a tournament we never played.
Psychologically, what's it like coming back from an injury, no matter how grave it's been, to go and play? To go and challenge, to put yourself on the line once again?
I think there are two angles to look at this. One, the excitement of getting back on the field. The fact that this is what you were born to do and you haven't been able to do it was taken away from you because of the injury. And so you're excited to get back on the field. You're excited to play in a game that matters. And then the other side of that is, can I trust my body?
Right.
And the only way that you can answer that question if you're Rodri or any player who's been out for a lengthy period of time is actually being out on the field and get on the turn, get on the half turn, being able to manipulate the ball from right to left and being able to withstand a challenge. Somebody comes at you from a awkward angle and you're able to withstand the challenge with strength, and then you're able to play out of pressure. The more you do that, and not in practice, but actually in game pace, that's when you start thinking, okay, I'm feeling closer to what I know I can do. The more I do this, the more repetitions I get, the more confidence I get. I believe that my body can now withstand all this pressure, that my body's not going to betray me. Now let me just do the things that I know how to do naturally.
As a coach, how do you manage that?
To be honest, in today's game, you pick one of your staff and say, right, your job is to make sure this guy gets through. And that's it.
What does that mean?
That means when you're coming back from a long time out, and I made the mistake, you're excited.
Yes.
And so you just go at 100 miles an hour.
Okay.
And you need somebody to pull you in. And if you don't have anybody to pull you in, then you end up missing more time. I was out for another 10 days. after I'd been out for 6 months.
Oh.
I just
It's
went
not a great
crazy.
story, is it?
I just went crazy.
6 months. I thought it was going to be longer than 10 days.
No, my groin went because I overdid it. Now, in today's game, somebody should be watching him every
Right.
step of the way, pulling him out when they need to. When he does a fair bit, get him out. It shouldn't be down to Rodri.
Okay.
You know, you don't go to Rodri and say, how are you feeling? Because he's desperate. He wants to keep playing and running and chasing and everything else. So, yeah. If I'm Man City, I've got one man. This is your job for the next four weeks, 4 months, whatever it takes. And you make sure that he doesn't overdo it.
Mario, take it into a mindset as a professional coming back and playing in a game as opposed to training where you know your body's going to be put on the line.
Yeah, because just what the guy said, and the biggest challenge you have as a player who comes back then is going to be that you are going to demand yourself, how long is it going to take me to do the things before I had the injury? And that is going to be his biggest question. So for me, like when I went through that was the question I was asking myself. So I'm sure he's going to ask himself too, because he didn't win the golden ball because it wasn't a player that could achieve the things that he showed us. So he's going to ask himself, how long is it going to take me to get back to that rhythm so I can produce and be important again for my team? And I think that is going to be the biggest clock that no one can stop you from doing. Like what Stevie said, guarantee you, that is 100% you need that. You need protection because as an individual, we are not good at that. We just want to play football.
As much as we hear Pep Guardiola, Rob's back with us, Rob, talking about how he wants to put last season behind us, focus on a new campaign. No doubt about it. The main thing about this tournament, if you're Pep Guardiola, is making sure you don't get any big injuries, in particular Rodri.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. You know, the guys in the studio over there are talking about players coming back after long injuries, and the last thing you want is for him to break down again. And you know, as much as Pep Guardiola is talking about wanting to win this tournament, you know, preparing in the right way, preparing as if these games are Champions League games, in the back of his mind, he'll just want to get through as best he can. Clearly, he wants to get through to the latter stages. It would be lovely if they won it. You know, there's a lot of money on the line for Man City as a football club. But really, he wants to start the Premier League season in the best shape possible, and that means having Rodri fit and available. And you know, as the guys have said in the studio, you know, Rodri's been pushing to play since around April. It wasn't until late May that he finally got back in the team. He's desperate to play in this tournament. He's had a couple of substitute appearances. He says that he's ready to start against Juventus. But Pep Guardiola will be thinking, well, there's no point having him start and then having to sort of hobble off after 25 minutes if it means he misses the start of the Premier League season. You know, everyone knows that the Premier League is the main objective for Man City this season, and they need Rodri fit for that.
Rob, looking at it overall, obviously you've been with Manchester City since they touched down in the States. You've been to their 2 games, training sessions as well. Of the new players, who has caught the eye for you?
Well, I think Aït-Nouri, the left-back, is the one in the last game who was particularly good. I mean, it's been a long time since City have had a recognised left-back. It's been Josko Vardiol for a couple of seasons. He's obviously a centre-half. You would rather play at centre-half. When Aït-Nouri started against Al Ain in the last game in Atlanta, it was noticeable how much more City were attacking down the left-hand side. You know, the way Pep set up, it was to give Aït-Nouri a lot of space down the left. You know, they encouraged him to get on the ball, get the ball higher up, you know, attack their defence, put crosses in, even run into the box himself. So, you know, of all sort of 4 of those new signings, it's Aït-Nouri that's been the most impressive. We haven't seen an awful lot of any of them, really, because Pep Guardiola has been so cautious with his team selection. It's been 2 separate 11s for the first 2 games, and we expect more changes for the Juventus game tomorrow. But out of all 3, I think City fans will be looking at it and saying, but it's been an awful long time since we had an attacking left-back in the squad. And Aït-Nouri, who's Premier League proven at Wolves, is that guy.
It'll be interesting to see, of course, how the ball will bounce tomorrow. This has been a big talking point over the last few days since the Club World Cup kicked off here in the States.